The way a woman stands, walks, and moves tells a powerful story. It speaks to how confident she feels, how safe she feels in her body, and whether her structure is supporting her or working against her. You see, every moment, our posture is either creating tension in our body or releasing it. We're either holding stress and discomfort or softening into ease, resilience, and flow. And for many women, simply learning to stand and move differently has been the key to releasing years, even decades, of chronic back pain and other womanly complaints. It's also the doorway to feeling more grounded, more energized, and more at home in our body. In today's episode of I Love Me, the podcast, we're diving deep into women's pelvic health. We'll explore how to cultivate a posture that doesn't just look graceful, but actually supports your physical vitality and your emotional well-being. And I'll introduce you to a practice I call natural womanly stance, a simple, beautiful way to align your body in daily life. This approach can help you ease back pain, invite your pelvic organs back into their healthy positions, and connect you with that delicious sense of inner confidence and self-love that radiates from within.
Love, 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 I love me.
Simple, inspiring lessons in self-love. Hi, it's Tamara here for Women's Health Week, and that's why today we'll be taking an inside look at a woman's pelvic health. Because our pelvis is our center of gravity. It's our foundation. If you imagine children's building blocks, the pelvis is the bottom one. If it's on rocky ground, if it loses its stability, then everything on top of it falls over, right? This is how our body works. In order to have a fully functioning and healthy body, where we are pain-free, where we feel energized and alive, we need to have a pelvis that's in alignment. A pelvis that is strong and is healthy from the inside out. If our pelvis starts to hold tension, which is really common, especially with all the sitting we do these days, then tissues, ligaments, muscles, and organs can start to be pulled out of position, which can upset the whole bony structure. And if you're like many people, you can end up with one leg being longer than the other. Once this starts to happen, we can end up with back pain, that's super common, as well as knee and ankle injuries and various other physical complaints. Internally, if our pelvis isn't in its aligned position, we become more at risk of prolapse. A shocking 44% of women will experience prolapse where one or more of their internal organs, such as the uterus, the bladder, or the rectum, they start to shift out of position and in more serious cases can start coming out of the vaginal opening. Hence why we want to work with our pelvis and move through life in a posture that supports our beautiful body in staying in alignment. A posture where our sexual organs are fully supported, where you feel supported, not just physically, but emotionally too. Because how solid and balanced we feel physically is generally a reflection of how balanced we feel emotionally. One affects and creates the other. As we heal one, the other naturally resolves too. If you want to feel more emotionally stable, then you'll find working with your posture can be a beautiful practice that supports your mental health. So, what I'd like to share with you today is one of my central teachings in my Yoga for the Vagina program, which is called natural womanly stance. A posture that is designed to support your pelvis in coming back into alignment so you can experience pelvic harmony. A posture we can use in everything we do. Yes, you want to invite natural womanly stance into your standing, sitting, walking, running, lifting things like the kids, your yoga practice, or any other physical movement or exercise you do during your day. Because we ladies need to pay attention to how we carry ourselves, how we hold ourselves, our posture. I work with a lot of women around the health of their pelvis, and in my experience, posture plays a big role in how resilient our body is and how capable it is of coming back into a healthy state when it experiences the wear and tear of everyday living. So, let me talk you through this natural womanly stance now. If you're in a place where you can follow along, please do, because getting a felt sense in your body of how this posture feels, that's really helpful. If not, have a listen now and then come back to this episode when you can take this posture for a test run. So, I simply invite you to stand up as we'll learn this posture in a standing position, and then I can explain how to take this posture into other positions later. To begin with, we want to build this posture from the ground up because how our feet are when we're standing, they dictate how our pelvis sits. So you want to stand with your feet hip width apart. And to measure this, simply bring your two fists down between the middle of your feet. You're placing your fists just under that bone that sticks out below your big toes. When you place your fists here, you're measuring your own unique hip width apart based on your unique proportions. Once your feet are hip width apart, you want to make sure that your feet are parallel. They'll be parallel if your second toes are pointing forward. You may need to slightly walk your big toes in so that your second toes are parallel with each other to get into this alignment. The reason this is so important is because how we set up our feet is how we set up our sacrum, the sacrum being the triangular bone at the back of the pelvis. If your toes are turning out, you'll be clenching your butt, which will cause constriction in the sacrum. That constriction will cause you to lose your core engagement at the front of the body. So you can start to see how one small misalignment ripples up the body to create bigger misalignments. Once the feet are positioned well, you want to make sure your knees are gently bent. They need to be soft. If they're locked, this will activate the thigh muscles and iron out the lower back curve. As soon as we lose that lower back curve, this throws the pelvis out of alignment. We want to keep those natural waves of the spine. So softly bent knees, then checking in with your thighs and see if they're rolling in. The thighs are naturally meant to roll in towards the midline of the body because this helps create space in our sacrum. So if you want to encourage your thighs to roll in, you can simply use your hands to just encourage them, move them in towards the center. Next, you want to relax your butt. If your glutes are tight all the time, they'll get tired, and that means they won't be as functional. And we want our glutes available to us when we need them, especially because they're our pelvic floor's best friend. Our pelvic floor and our glutes, they work together. If one's compromised, it'll affect the other. You can learn more about the way the pelvic floor supports us in everyday activities and check out the health of your pelvic floor in episodes 26 and 27. I'll pop a link in the show notes. So next time you're washing the dishes or waiting in a queue, check in. Is my butt relaxed? And if you're having trouble relaxing your butt right now, just shake it out. Give your butt a really good shake. And then invite your belly to relax. Take a deep breath in, let your belly round, and then let it go. And take a few breaths like this, just inviting your belly to relax. Many women have been conditioned to suck in their bellies all the time, and this irons out that lower back curve. So today, I give you permission to let your belly be as round as it naturally wants to be, and know that this is part of learning to love and accept yourself as you were designed. So now your glutes and belly are starting to relax, and if you have a habit of tightening them both, this will take some conscious practice to be able to let them go fully. So don't be surprised if right now it feels unnatural to let them soften. We're simply starting the process of unraveling those habitual holding patterns that have developed probably over many years. So we'll continue to move up the body, feeling your shoulders gently falling away from your ears, relaxing down your back. You may like to do a shoulder circle, forward, up and back to help invite them to release. If our shoulders are rolled in, our coccyx, so our tailbone, it also goes in. Not only does this make us look tired and heavy, we lose some of the lower back curve. I keep on talking about the lower back curve because it's so important. But not only that, if our tailbone is tucked, we can't breathe as well. And it's like the light in our hearts, it's off. Yet that simple movement of relaxing our shoulders down our back, it helps us reconnect with the loving guidance of our heart. It opens us up. And I talk about the heart brain in episode 24 if you're interested in learning how to access the wisdom of your heart. So shoulders relaxed down your back, arms relaxed and hanging by your sides. Gently pull your head back a touch so your ears are right above your shoulders. If you've lost some of your natural curve in your cervical spine, this may feel uncomfortable, so simply move them back to where feels acceptable right now. Eyes looking forward, feel the crown of your head is being gently drawn up to the sky. And notice how that gentle drawing up of the crown encourages your ribs up and off the pelvis, creating space between the ribs and the pelvis. This lifting up feeling, it's subtle, but it makes a huge difference because when we lift the heaviness of the upper body off the pelvis has more room to move and less weight or pressure pressing down on it. Feet grounding down, crown lifting up, knees slightly bent, belly relaxed, buttocks soft so the beautiful curves of the spine are there. Then simply check in with your pelvis. Because remember, our pelvis is our center of gravity. How it sits affects everything within it and everything that extends from it. We want the pelvis to be sitting at a 30-degree angle tilting forward. By lining up your feet, softening your knees and relaxing your belly, that generally creates the lower back curve that results in a 30-degree tilt of the pelvis. And the reason we want the 30-degree tilt forward of the pelvis, what you might often hear referred to as the neutral pelvis, is so that the sexual organs are now resting on the pubic bone and the abdominal wall. When our organs are sitting there, they have a really solid structure to rest upon, so they're far less likely to prolapse. And like I said, 44% of women experience prolapse, so we really need to know how to support our body, and posture plays a huge part of that. Because it's only when we tuck our tailbone and we lose that lower back curve that we place our organs on top of our pelvic floor, which was never designed to hold our sexual organs in. Let me repeat that. Our pelvic floor is not responsible for holding in our sexual organs. We stress our pelvic floor when we place that kind of load on top of it, and this leads to pelvic floor dysfunction. That's why this posture, natural womanly stance, is essential for pelvic health. Your behind is called your behind because it's meant to stay behind you. We don't want to be tucking it in and ironing out that lower back curve. That curve is necessary for good female functioning in all areas of life. So staying in this posture, simply go for a little walk around if you have room and see if you can maintain this posture while walking. Belly relaxed, knees soft, shoulders relaxed down your back, crown drawing up, while feeling your feet grounding down into the earth with each step. A beautiful lower back curve in place. And simply notice how this feels in your body as you walk around with your pelvis slightly tipped forward. I was recently invited to share these teachings to a group of doulas and birth workers as part of the Orgasmic Birth Practitioner Training. I'll put a link in the show notes for anyone who might be interested. And one woman commented on how she felt like a queen in this posture, like it had finally given her permission to step into her power as a woman. I had 3 other women comment that after spending the workshop in this posture, and this was only like a 90-minute workshop, that years of chronic back pain had released. So this posture, it does so much for us on so many levels. When you practice this stance, even for just a few minutes a day, while it may feel a little off to begin with due to your existing tension patterns and habits, with time, you'll start to feel your body unwinding. And as it unwinds, you'll naturally start to feel more joy living in your body. Because when there is less tension and more alignment, you feel lighter, you have more energy. And that beautiful life force energy that is responsible for your pleasure, that is now free to move through you. Now, I simply invite you to see if you can sit in this natural womanly stance. Your sit bones, the 2 bony bits that sit at the bottom of the pelvis, these act like your feet when you're sitting. So come onto those sit bones so you feel yourself directly sitting on them. The real name of these bones are the ischial tuberosities, but sit bones is much easier to say and explains exactly what they're made for. So on your sit bones, belly relaxed, shoulders melting down your back, ears over shoulders, eyes on the horizon, crown drawing up. I invite you to see if you can spend the rest of this episode in this posture. See how you go. If you're sitting on the floor, I recommend putting a bolster or folded blanket under your butt so you don't lose that lower back curve. Check in to make sure you're sitting centered between your pubic bone and your tailbone. So you want to be on your perineum, which is the bit of skin between your anus and vaginal opening. When we spend our time sitting in this alignment, as opposed to sitting back on our tailbone, we maintain the natural curves of the spine. But when we tuck our tailbone, this misaligns the spine, causing tension patterns that put too much load on other areas of the body, and that leads to wear and tear. It also puts our sexual organs at risk of prolapse. In pregnant women, staying in this natural womanly stance has actually been shown to help baby get into a healthy position, so birthing is easier. So we want to practice maintaining this natural womanly stance as we go about our day. When we lean down to pick something up, we bend our knees and hinge from the hips as opposed to rounding the lower back. This helps keep that lower back curve in place so we're not stressing the lower back, and in turn drying out our kidneys, which in Chinese medicine play a huge role not only on how energized we feel, but also our sexual health. My whole Yoga for the Vagina online series is based on this natural womanly stance. So women get used to moving in and out of different shapes while maintaining this healthy alignment. Because when you practice it regularly on the mat, then you naturally start to take it out into daily living. So you're moving through the day aligned and supported. Because we don't practice yoga to get good at yoga. We practice yoga to get good at life. The thing I want you to remember is that our pelvis is our center of gravity. If we're doing things that are pulling it off center, then chances are other parts of the body will suffer as well. When we're not in this posture, our body has to work really hard to maintain an erect position. And this puts pressure on various bodily parts, which can lead to wear and tear and overall energy loss. By practicing this posture every day and allowing it to become our natural way of moving through life, we're making our life easier, our body healthier, and as a result, we'll be more emotionally balanced. Because like I said, our physical body and our emotional body, they mirror each other. So I encourage you to take opportunities at random times throughout your day to check in with your posture and invite it back into this natural womanly stance. Maybe set a timer on your phone so you have that reminder to help you remember to practice it. Because if you do, you'll notice a big, big difference in how you feel living inside your gorgeous body. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you left a short review or a rating. It's such a beautiful way to help more women discover this podcast and the practices that can help them feel more at home in their body. And if today's episode sparked something within you and you're feeling curious to explore this posture more deeply and truly embody it, then I'd love to invite you to check out my Yoga for the Vagina online series. Inside, you'll find beautifully restorative feminine practices and postures designed to guide you back into your body, gently releasing tension, supporting your pelvic health, and helping you cultivate a loving, nourishing relationship with you. You can learn more at my sister site, yogaforthevagina.com. And please note, if you do enroll, that a percentage of profits go to planting trees, so together we can re-robe Mother Earth.
I love me.